Hi everyone. Today's video is about Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind is a story about a young girl named Nausicaa who fights for the coexistence of humans and insects. As a matter of fact, Nausicaa is packed with many behind-the-scenes stories and trivia. Today, I'll introduce a selection of them. Let's get started. First, let's talk about the model for Nausicaa's name. The name Nausicaa is said to have been modeled after a person in a tale. That person is Nausicaa, who is a character in Homer's epic, the Odyssey, and is a princess of Scheria. One day, Odysseus, who was stranded on the island, calls for help, but the islanders all run away due to his dismal appearance. Only Princess Nausicaa helped Odysseus and listened to his story. As Nausicaa is said to have taken him to the royal palace to have him groomed, we can see that she was a woman with a kind heart. Here, the name and character of Princess Nausicaa have been directly inherited by Nausicaa, the protagonist of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Speaking of which, Nausicaa herself is also beloved as a princess by the people, making it interesting to see the similarities here. There is another person who is said to have been the model for Nausicaa. In a work written in the Heian period called Tsutsumi Chunagon Monogatari, there is a short story titled, The Lady Who Loved Insects. The heroine in this story served as a model for Nausicaa's character. This high-ranking Heian court lady was very beautiful, albeit with an unusual hobby. She loved to observe insects. Having no preconceived notion of insects being disgusting, she was seen as strange by those around her, and was considered creepy. When we look at Nausicaa, who is able to communicate with insects, there is, indeed, a resemblance to the court lady. Next, let's talk about video games for Nausicaa. Although not well known even among Ghibli fans, there have been 3 video games for Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. Released in early 1980s, these old-fashioned games have been forgotten over time. It is almost impossible to find them nowadays. The game titles include Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, Nausicaa's Close Call, and Never Forget to Nausicaa Game Forever. One of them is an adventure game, and the others are shooting games. The fact that Nausicaa had games is a surprise in itself, but the rumor surrounding them is also very interesting. The rumor is that the directors Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata were furious at the game, in which Nausicaa is to shoot down all the insects from the Sea of Decay to score points. This was said to be the reason why no video game based on Studio Ghibli's works has been made since then. Indeed, Nausicaa does not kill any insects in the film, but rather tries to find a way to coexist with them. It is perhaps natural for the directors to reject a game that would go against this very worldview. However, the validity of this rumor remains a mystery, as none of the 3 games have had this kind of content. If you are interested, make sure to check out videos of the gameplay. Now, let's talk about the one who made the original art for the Giant Warriors. One of the most impressive characters in Nausicaa is the Giant Warrior. In fact, the original art for the Giant Warrior was drawn by Hideaki Anno, the director of the famous Evangelion film. When Miyazaki saw the drawings of Anno, who visited Studio Ghibli with them, Miyazaki immediately hired him on the spot. Because he joined the studio in mid-production of Nausicaa, the people around him were very surprised that Anno was entrusted with all the original art for the Giant Warriors. If you look closely at them, their design is somewhat reminiscent of Evangelion, isn't it? In addition, it is said that the movement of the Giant Warriors was modeled after Anno himself, who was actually mentally ill at the time and had repeatedly wandered around late at night while making strange noises. His swaying movements were incorporated into the way Giant Warriors walked. as can be seen by how Anno was chosen as the voice actor for The Wind Rises. His friendship with Miyazaki continues to this day. Next is some trivia about the music and sound effects. When it comes to the most famous song in Nausicaa, you might recall the one that goes "Lon lon lon." This song, which brings about a strong impact, is titled Fruitful Land. The girl's voice is so memorable that once you hear it, you will be haunted by it. Surprisingly, it is sung by Joe Hisaishi's daughter, Mai, who was 4 years old at the time. Joe Hisaishi is well known as composer. Almost all of famous Ghibli songs, including this "Lon Lon Lon" song, are made by him. Originally, Hisaishi was looking for a boy soprano who would fit the image of the song but was able to not find one by the deadline. After having Mai sing the song, it was liked by director Miyazaki, resulting in the "Lon Lon Lon" song, voiced by Mai. Another essential sound effect in Nausicaa is the Ohm's cry. How on earth did they come up with that unique and inexplicable sound? It is, in fact, the sound from the guitar of Tomoyasu Hotei, whom Joe Hisaishi asked to play. Hotei has also personally mentioned this on Twitter in the past, making it a topic of conversation. It is interesting to think that an unexpected sound made by an unexpected person is involved in the film. Also, I want to highlight the relationship with Akira Toriyama. Akira Toriyama is known for his series Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump. In fact, Toriyama is said to be a big fan of Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind and has seen the movie a whopping 14 times before. Speaking of Toriyama, he is also the creator of another famous character. That's right, I'm talking about Dragon Quest, an extremely popular video game series in Japan. The character design for Dragon Quest II was inspired by the Nausicaa film. It is also said that the design of the Dragon Quest item, the Mark of Erdrick, was based on the crest on the clothes Nausicaa wears. If you look closely, you can see the resemblance. While it may come as a surprise, there are similarities between Nausicaa and the video game series, which became a social phenomenon in Japan. Finally, some trivia about the final scene in Nausicaa. This trivia contains spoilers, so please proceed with caution if you have not seen the movie yet. I'm sure that Nausicaa's last scene has moved many people. In fact, Hayao Miyazaki's original idea for the final scene was to have Nausicaa end up landing in front of the onrushing Omu. Unsatisfied with this ending, producer Toshio Suzuki and director Isao Takahata came up with a new idea. As a result, they narrowed it down to 3 ideas, including Nausicaa ends up landing in front of the onrushing Ohm, Nausicaa is blown away by the onrushing Ohm and ends up dying, or Nausicaa is blown away by the onrushing Ohm and dies but is resurrected. The final choice was third one, with the film ending exactly as planned. However, Hayao Miyazaki regrets this last scene to this day, saying, "Why couldn't I come up with a better ending?" While the last scene of Nausicaa has now been established as is, it would be interesting to see how it might have ended differently. So, what did you think? Did you know any of these trivia? If you know any others, let me know in the comments section. I'll continue to introduce many more trivia and behind-the-scenes stories related to Ghibli on this channel, so be sure to stay tuned. Bye for now.